You are listening to the USDN on the DFPN.
It's a trap!
What is up, everybody? It's the chairman of the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. Today, we're stepping into a world of dragons, fallen gods, and alien mythologies colliding with Earth. Our guest is Wimbearn, a creator blending the legendary influence of Akira, Toriyama, and Pokémon's kin. Sugimori. I was close. I was very close there. Into an original sci-fi fantasy epic called SaGia? SaGia. Oh, okay. This is a story about legacy, power, and what happens when gods fall and new heroes are forced to rise. The council is now in session. Wimbearn, welcome to the USDN.
Hi.
So she's going to help me out a lot tonight in pronunciating a lot of different words because I have proven that I cannot pronounce anything today. So not only is she our guest, but she is also my translator for the night. So if you're ready to dive in, let's dive into this. So for those meeting you for the first time, who is Wimbearn?
I'm an artist. I also do voice acting. I'm not into like bigger projects. I just do voice acting for fun. I started joining social media around 2019, and I mostly draw like Dragon Ball fan art, Pokemon, and all that. And I started growing a lot of followers. And about my comic, SaGia, I started in 2021 during the pandemic, and I think that was the year I started college. And originally, SaGia was going to be a video game, but at the time, I didn't know how to program, so instead, I just turned it into a comic book series. And Volume 1, which you're seeing on screen right now, I didn't finish it until 2023, and I didn't release it to the public until 2024.
Okay. So I've had the pleasure of reading the first one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And you can definitely see the influences of Akira in that work. But you're also influenced by Ken. They're both inspirations to you. Kind of like, what have you taken from those two brilliant people and kind of applied to your characters and what you are doing?
Great question. For Akira Toriyama, I'm mainly inspired by the original Dragon Ball series. If you've seen that one, with where Goku was a kid. One of the main characters. Let me pull up the front cover. This is Haido, and this is Jikiru right here. Where my fingers are at. So my main inspiration for these two is a character on Dragon Ball by the name of Lunch or Lunch. They call her Lunch in Japan. For those who don't know who she is, she first appeared in the original Dragon Ball, the very first Dragon Ball, and she has this sneezing problem. So every time she sneezes, she'll switch between good to bad, and then vice versa.
That's what
Um, yeah, when
it's
my
such a
first in,
fun thing, though. It's like a great little character thing.
yeah, my first introduction to that character was I was in high school, and I checked out the very first Dragon Ball manga at my
Mhm,
library, and I was introduced to her when I got to her chapter, and I was like, I like her. I really like her, and
mhm.
I started watching clips of her on YouTube, and I really liked her English dub voice, where she talked like this. She had like a Brooklyn accent, like for her evil side, her blonde haired side, and
Mhm. It's almost like she's
and
congested, you know? She's got a little congestion in there. It's maybe why she's
yeah.
sneezing all the time.
Yeah, and fun fact, I actually met her voice actress at a Dragon Ball convention in 2022. And that's my profile picture on Instagram. That's me and my favorite voice actor,
That's really cool. Was it up at what's it called? I'm trying to think of that big convention they have up there every year.
Kamea Khan.
There's that one, and there's another one that's more comic book related, but I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's something to do with the architecture of the city, but it's neither here nor there because I cannot remember anything today. It has been the Monday of Mondays, as we were talking before the show got started. So, how do you balance wearing both this creator hat and this world builder hat, where you're kind of like everything? You're the artist, you're the writer, you're the colorist. You are doing the whole thing yourself. How are you balancing all that? Plus, just your normal. You gotta be human. You know, you gotta have some time for yourself and do those things as well. How are you balancing all these things?
Oh man, I don't know how to answer that question. Like
It's a difficult one.
yeah, I don't have like a job or anything. I just do it in my free time.
Mhm.
At the time when I was in college, I focused more on my college work first. Then I worked on the comic. Like I about my comic, I drew it all digitally on my iPad. There's
Mhm.
an app I use called Procreate, and that's
Yep.
why I used to work on the comic.
Procreate is amazing. I have it on my iPad as well. I just hardly ever get to use it for anything other than fits in pictures of comic books that I sometimes post or that I was posting when I was doing that on the podcast. And that's how I would fit some of my blemishes on books. But I do love that program a lot. And I know a lot of really good and talented creators, yourself included, that use Procreate for their comics as well.
Yeah.
Are they starting off by hand, then take the picture of it and load it into Procreate and finish them that way? So it's a very good program that's very useful for the comic book world. So give us your elevator pitch for SaGia in your own
SaGia.
words. SaGia in your own words. I love it. Thank you for that. Because I'm so bad today. I don't know why.
An elevator pitch. So, um, I've never done an elevator pitch before. It's my first time.
Just throw out there what it is. It,
Mm. So, Sagia is a comic about these aliens known as Sagians that live on the planet Sariju. And there are three gods that live there. Their names are Raiden, Flaredin, and Liquidin. Fire, water, and lightning. And another evil alien race by the name of the Drakens. Yeah, the Drakens. They take over their planet, and they kill the three gods.
mhm.
So the Sagians are in panic. The Drakens are looking for these eight magical pieces known as the Claw Relics. So the claw relics like fly away, and they move, and the pieces move to Earth. All the Sagians move to Earth, and then the Drakens follow. So on Earth, a human boy named Lain, he meets the Sagian Haido when a Draconoid breaks in Lane's room, and when Haido defeats the Draconoid, um, they talk, they meet up, they later become partners. They become partners, and one thing I wanted to say is, um, Haido has another half by the name of Jikiru, which I showed on the cover.
Yep.
And whenever Haido is feeling calm, she switches to Jikiru, and when Jikiru is feeling angry, she changes into Haido. Although there are times in the story where Haido will take over Jikiru's body, like whenever she feels like it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like these little nuances to characters like that. So Sariju is a planet filled with Sagians,
Sagians.
God bless America. What makes this world different from other sci-fi fantasy settings?
Um,
I told you I did my research before we ever went live.
yeah, I don't have a response to that question. About that question, you asked me the first question about Akira Toriyama and Ken Sugimori,
Yes.
like the influence. I want to finish that one.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm also inspired by besides original Dragon Ball where Goku was a kid, there's like so many other 80s anime, 90s anime that I watched that influenced SaGia. For Ken Sugimori, Pokemon's Ken Sugimori, I love his watercolor artworks, and like it inspired like some of my artworks that I post on social media, and it like my art style is inspired by both Toriyama and Sugimori. Another thing I want to say is in the first volume the art style is rough. It's a little different. Starting around volume 2, which I will show right now on the screen.
Okay.
I started like improving with the art style, and currently I'm working on volume 3, which is I say is an improvement.
That's how everything works. We get better as we go at everything. I was not very good at this when I first started. I will tell you that right now. But so in the beginning, in chapter 1 of your book, the Drakens wipe out the gods. That was a very bold move in the very first volume. What made you go like straight out the gate, just like hammer down and like we're gonna do something big, or we're gonna do something bold and something that sets this apart?
That is a good question. Like at the time when I was writing SaGia, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make up something in my head, like this evil race of aliens wipe out these 3 gods. I run this like SaGia blog too, besides the website by myself, and I think I remember having this backstory or something. I can't remember what I wrote.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I wish more comic books would just go like straight in, issue 1, big plot, and hammer down the whole time. So it's a very good way to do it. So let's talk about, I'm going to see if I can pronounce it. Draglun? Draglun. What does this dragon represent to the story?
So Draglun, so those 8 claw relic pieces, I wrote like a backstory for Draglun on oh man, I shouldn't have looked at the website. I shouldn't have re-looked at the website before this podcast. But those 8 claw relic pieces, when they're together, they revive. Draglun is freed. He's revived, and if I remember correctly, he can grant the person who summoned him a wish. And
Okay.
the reason Lain and Haido are trying to make sure Sariju and Earth is safe is because like they're trying to gather all 8 of the claw relic pieces, revive Draglun, and then their goal is to revive the 3 gods, like bring
Mhm.
them back
Okay.
and
I'm
defeat the
glad you
dragons. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up Lane and Haido again. So
Mhm.
Lane's life really changes when he meets Haido. Is
Mhm.
their relationship kind of like the emotional core of the story?
Mm. Uh like when Lane first when Haido first meets Lane, they like it's like a rocky relationship,
Mhm.
but as the story goes on, they start to like feel a bond between them. And Haido's like Haido wants to get stronger, and I think that Lane is helping her, with that, like
Mhm.
like to make her like more powerful. Like there
Okay.
are times in the story where she just goes out of control. There's a chapter in volume 2 where she just went really out of control. Let me see what chapter. Chapter 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I like that because Link is like the yes, he's helping her to become stronger, but he's also kind of like her like emotional like support. You know what I'm saying? Like to help her calm down or to get stronger. So
Mhm.
the Eight Claw Relics, which you have mentioned, they feel very mythic, very anime, which is very on theme for your book. How did
Mhm.
you come up with this concept?
Mm. Maybe Dragon Ball, I guess. Like the 7
Mhm.
Dragon Balls, I guess, was the inspiration for the claw relics.
Hey, there is literally
Originally
nothing
the
wrong with that. That
yeah,
is such a good series to be influenced by that nobody could be mad at that.
yeah, originally the color of the claw relics was orange, but I changed it to like a blue purple
Mhm.
color.
Oh, I like those colors personally myself.
Yeah.
So each relic carries power. As those relics are recovered, do they carry any consequences? Like you found one, and now there's like a consequence of finding these 8 dragon claws or 8 claw relics, or is it
No.
just like you found it, it's yours?
No, not there's no consequences. Like although I mentioned I think it's in chapter 2 where Haido mentions that only someone with like a pure heart can have these claw relics.
Mm.
When the dragons try to get it, like one of the claw relic pieces just flies away from them, and
Okay,
they meet this Sagian named Asai to help them like get the pieces for them.
gotcha. Okay, so it has to recognize that you are pure of heart in order to be able to hold them and to capture them.
Yes.
I like it. So, could you tease anything else that's coming up next for your book? Anything else
Yeah.
coming out for it?
Yeah, so I am currently working on volume 3. Most recently I just completed chapter 15, and if you want to read the chapters early before volume 3 releases, I post them on a website called Global Comics. You can read the chapters early for 1.99. The first chapter is free to read if you want to check that
Yep,
out.
read that one. It was terrific.
Yeah.
So, can you kind of walk us through like your creative process from writing the story and then drawing the story, or do you kind of like do work on both as you go since you are the only person who does the book?
So I just like I type out like the story for each chapter
Mhm.
first in Google Docs. I make any corrections. Then once I'm once I'm feeling like motivated, I illustrate it in Procreate. First off, I set up the panels. I sketch it out in blue. Sometimes I'll write, this dialogue and where it goes, so I can know where to place the character at. Then
Hmm.
I sketch out the character, and then I draw it over in black. And
Okay.
then yeah.
Okay. No, that's on point. That's yeah, can't complain when you just keep it simple. I wish more people just kept it simple like that. So do you do characters come first, or did this world come first when you were coming up with everything? Did you have a character in mind, or did you just have this world that you wanted to put characters into?
I think the characters came first. When I started SaGia, like I remember, okay, as I said earlier in this interview, I said that it was originally going to be like a video game,
Hmm.
but and by just changed it into a comic. The first characters I drew were three Sagians named Ula, Akira, and Sayuri. And yeah, those are my first three characters that I drew.
Are they in
Ula,
the book? Are they still in the book?
yeah, Ula does appear in volume 2
Okay.
in the last chapter. Akira, I'm just gonna say this early. Akira will appear in chapter 16, which I am currently working on,
Okay.
and Sayuri will appear in chapter. I plan to have Sayuri appear in chapter 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So, what has been your hardest thing so far in doing this book? And whether it was the art or the story, what do you think was kind of like the hardest part of that?
Oh, the hardest part. Like for the art, I just I do these I recently finished my commentary for chapter 15 yesterday. I For those who don't know, I do these chapter commentaries on my Ko-fi page. So Ko-fi is a place where artists can like post their work and people can donate and stuff. Those commentaries are only for members only. If you want to check that out, they're up on the official SaGia website too. But I recently finished my commentary for chapter 15. I got that scheduled. Something I mentioned is there's a character that I had a hard time like drawing with from a certain angle.
Hmm.
He appears in chapter 6. I think in chapter 6. Yeah. He appears in chapter 6 and his name is Fang Noon. I have a hard time drawing his beast form.
Okay.
I'm used to drawing him from like the 2/3 angle or side view because I'm using this my very first drawing of him as reference. But if
Mhm.
it's like from a top down view from the front, yeah. Like I have to like sketch out in blue and make so many corrections. Like yeah,
That's
he
what's great
appeared
about Procreate, though, is that you can
yeah.
literally just erase it and start it fresh.
Yeah, he appears a lot like Fang Noon's beast form, he appears a lot in chapter 15.
Okay.
Yeah. I just try to make sure he looks fine. He looks fine from this angle. Like if I'm satisfied with the sketch,
Mhm.
then I like draw it over in black.
So, was there a moment for you when you were getting started on the book that you kind of took a step back and said, I think I'm going to do this and I think I'm going to make this a public thing? Was there a moment for you, or maybe like a part in the story that you had written for it, or maybe a part in when you were drawing a certain character that you decided, like, this isn't just going to be for me, I'm going to share this with the world?
Mm, not really.
Okay.
Not
Fair
really.
enough. Fair enough. So, what has been what has being an indie creator taught you so far?
Like, can you paraphrase that question?
Um, as an indie creator, what has been the most important lesson that you've learned?
Oh man, from like YouTube videos that I've watched, I shouldn't have made like a one-shot comic, instead of like a full series. Yeah.
But that's one of those that can go both ways. If you know to yourself that this is something that you want to keep going and keep expanding and keep doing, would a one shot have benefited you in the long term?
Yeah, maybe.
Fair enough. So, what's a one? What is one piece of advice you wish somebody would have given you before starting this journey?
Mm, oh man, I really don't know.
It's also fair enough. So, let me ask you this: what is one piece of advice you would give to an indie creator out there right now who's just kind of like, pushing it off, like they're not ready, or they're scared, or they're nervous to push forward with their own work? What kind of advice would you give them?
Uh, um, I'm trying to think of some advice. That is a good question. Um, I like all I have to say is just never like like when I was like nervous about like when I started SaGia, when I published that to the public, I was like I didn't know, I was afraid of like the feedback, how much like the negative feedback, but surprisingly I got good feedback. Just my advice would just be like listen to the feedback, um don't give up, don't be scared. All I have to say is just you got this.
Perfect advice. Perfect advice, especially listening to feedback.
Mhm.
But I I I am available for feedback. I do mention that often. Like if somebody wants to send me their comic and have me do a pre-read before they do anything with it, I'm always available for that kind of stuff. And I've done it a few times, and those on to be successful Kickstarters in the long term. So that's really cool, and that's perfect advice right there. Is just listen to feedback. So, so how big do you plan on your universe being?
Uh,
You got 5 chapter or 5 books, 6 books. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking so currently this is I would like to call this the Draken arc, the Draken saga. I'm planning for this to last 8 volumes.
Okay.
And then I have like future arcs planned.
And how many chapters do you have per arc or per volume, I should say? So
For
if
volume
it's volume one, how many chapters is it?
for volume 1 it'll be 6, it has 6 chapters. For
Okay.
volume 2 I expanded it with like 7. Volume 3 will have 7 chapters.
Okay. That's pretty spot on. How about how long is a chapter for you?
How long?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the most recent chapter I finished was like 44 pages. It was just so much work.
That's incredible though. So when people are buying your book, they're getting their value for their money.
Mhm.
With with chapters being that big and 7 chapters a volume, that's incredible. So keep that up. I like that.
Thank you.
So let me ask, where can people, well, tell the people where they can find your work and where they can find you.
So if you're interested in a physical copy of a Saga, I also do signed copies too. You can go to kofi.com wimbearn/shop. I also have merch. I'm wearing one of them right now.
Some nice t-shirts.
Yeah. So yeah, I got t-shirts. I recently released this merch like last year for like a third event I was at. It was like it was a really big event.
Mm-hmm.
But I have t-shirts, prints, stickers. I will sign the prints too if you request it.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Oh, I also want to thank shout outs to Comics Wellspring for printing out my books. They're a really good company, and I do recommend them. If you want to follow me, as of this podcast, I am on break from social media.
I told you before, everybody has to take one sometimes.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram at wimbearn, Blue Sky, Threads. I have a Facebook page if you want to follow that. I used to be on Twitter, but not anymore. Like not as much because that site went downhill.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So, yep, you hit them all. Do you still have the Weebly account?
Yeah. If you want to check out SaGia itself, you can go to sagiaofficial.weebly.com, or I also have that blog, like I mentioned. I think it's sagiaofficial.blogspot.com. It's also on the official SaGia website. So
excellent. So,
yeah.
Wimbearn, I want to thank you so much for bringing your work to the USDN community and for proving that indie comics are still the best place for bold new worlds. To everyone watching, make sure you follow, support, and share not only Wimbearn's work, but all indie creators' work. This movement only grows when you show up for it and support it. Ladies and gentlemen, the council is adjourned. This has been the USDN podcast where indie comics come to life. Y'all be safe out there.
See ya.
It's a trap!